Today, we are going to practice turning words into expressions and expressions into words. Let's take a look at this expression, 3 5/10 plus 6 3/10. Can you think of as many ways as you can to express this in words? Pause this video and list all the ways you can express this expression in words. Here are some ways that I came up with. Let's see if your ways match mine. One way you could use words for this expression is add 3 5/10 and 6 3/10. Another one is find the sum of 3 5/10 and 6 3/10. And then finally, we can come up with endless situations to help represent this expression. Here's one that I came up with. One bag of peanuts weighs 3½ ounces and another weighs 6 3/10 ounces. How much do they weigh all together? I'd like you to think about changing expressions into words for the following expressions. Pause this video and do that right now. Okay, let's create a little table to help us out when we're reading expressions and we want to change them into words. So our first one, 3 5/10 was plus 6 3/10. So our symbol is this sign right there. It's read simply by saying plus. That's how we read it out loud. And then some operation words that we use to associate this is add and sum. Let's move on to the next one, subtraction. That is the operation symbol we use for subtraction. And when we read it out loud, we say minus. So 19 minus 1 1/2. And then words that we associate with minus are words like subtract and difference. All right, our next one, 11 times 5. This is the symbol that we use for multiplication, but we also use the dot symbol, so I'm going to include that as well. So we say 11 times 5, and we often associate it with multiply and product. And then finally for division, it's that symbol. And we use the word divided by, 13 divided by 3. And we use the words divide and quotient. You can use that table that we just made to help you with today's task, words and expressions. So what you're going to do is you're going to read the words and then you're going to create an expression for them. Then in this situation, you have the expression and you're going to create the words. Same thing here. So you kind of go back and forth from going from words to expressions and expression to words. Let's see the first one together. It says add 7 and 14. Subtract 1 1/2 from the sum. So we're going to add 7 and 14. It's important I put parentheses around it because that's the operation I want done first. And then I'm going to subtract 1 1/2 from that sum. Let's look at this one. It says 16 divided by 4. So you can simply just write divide 16 by 4. Or you could say the quotient of 16 and 4. You're going to finish that, do that for the rest of this worksheet. And then you're going to move on to part 2, which has more word problems and has to do with Eric, who plays the video games and gets a certain amount of points. I wanted to remind you of one last tool that you have in your classwork, in your notebook, or your homework booklet. It's called Classwork Tools. Here's the table that we just created as a class. There's more on this page that doesn't make sense yet, but we're going to get to things like the coordinate plane. But this tool you can use throughout the whole unit if you want to refer back to some of the work that we've done so far. Good luck.